Ever walk into a basement and smell that musty air? What about after the rain? Do the walls or the floors in your basement feel moist?
Well, you could have a mold problem, and that could lead to bigger health problems. Fox 5's Jill Sorensen is live in Dale City to tell us more about what could be making your home sick. Jill, this is really one of the biggest concerns now of people when they buy a house.
You're right, Michael, and actually this house that I'm in right now in Dale City the homeowner wanted to get tested for mold. She smelled the musty smell, the moistness. She actually has a water and a flood problem here. It's actually a very serious problem. A lot of people are allergic to mold, and they can develop asthma, or you could even develop symptoms that come with like multiple sclerosis, where it actually attacks your central nervous system. So if you suspect you might have mold, the key is to get a mold test in your home.
And you can see there's a prime example of some damp.
Pete Popek should know. He inspects and measures mold for a living. He was called to this house to check for mold. The main problem here, flooding in the laundry and furnace room.
You know, the homeowner complained of wetness and dampness here in this room. When it rains, water seeps through here, and the concrete gets wet.
The discoloration in the floor and on the wall is a red flag. So, too, the musty smell. The homeowner says with each heavy rain, water comes through this door. This drain also gets backed up, causing more flooding. The conditions for mold to grow are all present here: moisture and poor ventilation.
If you have a water issue, it's important to get on it right away. It only takes 24 hours worth of water to create mold, to create a condition for mold to grow.
The homeowner uses bleach to clean up after each flood, but Popek says that isn't enough to handle this repeated problem.
The homeowner also told me of several commode backups which have caused this carpet here to become wet repeatedly.
That means mold could be growing here. After his visual inspection, Popek sets up his testing tools to check for mold. An air pump sucks in air for 10 minutes, and the sticky film in the middle of that cassette will catch what is in the air.
I'll overnight this to the lab, and they will be able to tell us what types of mold and how many spores and the concentration.
Popek does another test in the furnace room and then another outside as the control sample. That way he can find out how much mold is present in the normal outside air and compare it to the air inside of the house. Now, the cost of a mold inspection is between $400 and $600. It's definitely a worthy investment. If you want to battle mold, try and prevent mold in your own home. We have some tips for you. The first is to make sure you fix all leaks. Look for discoloration in the walls and ceilings. Service your AC and furnace regularly. Smell odors. If you have that musty smell, that's definitely a sign that you could have mold. And know the symptoms of mold and the related illnesses that you could get from having mold in your house. That's really important. I'm going to bring in Pete Popek right now, who did the mold test on this house that we are in right now. And Pete, you have the results for us. What did you find out?
Yeah, this home did test high in the 2 basement locations that we tested for Aspergillus penicillium, which is a potentially toxigenic mold.
Okay. And so when you talk about high, that's higher than the average house?
Well, what we do is we compare the sample to the outside, and if you have more mold inside than you do outside, then that indicates there's an issue.
Okay, so what's the next step? What do people do now?
Well, after you get inspected, and if you were to find that your house is testing high, the next step is to bring in a remediation specialist to find out the cause and origin and to write some specific remediation specifications.
What are some of the things that a remediation company or person would tell a homeowner if I had mold in my home and it was high? What are some of the things they would tell me that I could do to fix it?
Well, the first thing that they would do, and really, if you have the toxigenic mold, it should be handled by a remediation specialist because it is dangerous and can cause some health concerns. But what they would do is they would create a containment area so that they could take out the affected areas without spreading it.
Right.
And the main thing is to take care of the water issue, because that causes the mold.
Yeah, that is the way that mold is caused. If you go to fox5dc.com, we've got information on Pete and Christine Popek's testing service, and you can find out more about how to get your home tested for mold. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Jill.
Thank you. And coming up in our next hour, Jill's going to talk about other toxins that could be lurking in your house.